So, the first phylum that you have to learn in case of kingdom Animalia is Phylum Porifera. Okay, since it is the first phylum, you can well understand that it is the lowermost grade of organism. What do you mean by lowermost? Means most simple type of organisms will come under the category of Phylum Porifera. Okay. Porifera, the very word means holes. Okay. What does it mean? It means holes. Means the entire body of an poriferan will be perforated by many or multi holes, and the holes definitely have some function which I will tell you now, but for the time being you understand that porifera, the word means holes. The first character of animals under phylum Porifera will be they have holes over their body, the first point. The second point that is you have to understand, they are non-motile. They are non-motile means what? Non-motile means they do not have any ability to move. They are placed at one position and they cannot move. Another word for this non-motile organisms can be sedentary. So, sedentary or non-motile, that is they are placed at one position and they do not have any ability to move as such. The third character is now you can well relate that why I said their body is full of holes. The third characteristic is water canal system. What do you mean by water canal system? Water canal system is the characteristic of the lowermost type of organisms where flush of water goes inside the body of the organism and comes out. Then what is the benefit? The water carries microorganisms, food, oxygen, and when it goes inside the body, absorption of the useful substances takes place and the water comes out with the waste materials. Okay, say it is a sponge and the water is going inside. So, the water which is going inside it contains microorganism, food for this sponge and as well as the oxygen for its breathing. So, it goes inside the sponge. Now, the sponge absorbs the required materials and through this sponge again the water with waste materials comes out. So, the three characters you should remember, that first one is they have holes in their body, second one is they are non-motile, and third one is they have water canal system. And I have told you the function of this. Water canal system's function is to provide food to the organism, to provide air for the organism for respiration. That is, in one word, water canal system is necessary for the survival of the organism, because water is carrying useful substances that is being absorbed by the body of the said organism. The fourth characteristic is the body of the organism is covered by a hard skeleton which is made of calcium. So, calcareous skeleton, usually calcium carbonate or CaCO3. Calcium carbonate or CaCO3 is the constituent of this calcareous skeleton. That skeleton forms the outermost covering of the organism, thus giving the organism protection, mechanical support as well as defense against the predators. I repeat once again, calcareous skeleton made of mainly calcium carbonate. It provides protection to the organism, it provides mechanical support to the organism as well as helps the organism to get defense from the predators or one who feed upon them. Okay. Now, the final most characteristics for this poriferans is no differentiation. What do you mean by no differentiation? Please try to recollect what I have told you in case of plant kingdoms. No differentiation means, say for my body, okay, I was once a zygote, now I am an adult, or you can say now I am a mature human being in terms of biological science. I have hand, I have fingers, I have legs, I have mouth, face, eyes, ear, nose, tongue, teeth, all organs placed in their designated position. That means my body is differentiated. That is, my body is having definite structures that is prescribed for a human being. So no differentiation means the poriferan do not have the structures that should be present in an animal. Say a mouth, say a clear nose, or say limbs. Hands and legs are called limbs. So the body is undifferentiated, or another way I can tell that there is no differentiation. Undifferentiated or no differentiation. So these are the 5 major characteristics of phylum Porifera. I am repeating once again for your sake. The first one is they have presence of holes in their body. Second one is they are sedentary, as well as they are non-motile. That is the same meaning. Third point is they have water canal system meant for nutrition, respiration, excretion. The fourth point is they have calcareous exoskeleton. Exoskeleton means presence outside the body. And the last point is they have no differentiation, or they have undifferentiated body, undifferentiated UN. Okay. So if you are asked in your examination what are the characteristics of phylum Poriferan animals, then you have to write this 5 major characteristics. Now I am just taking a sample of phylum Porifera and showing you some major important parts. So this is an example or an representative under the phylum Porifera. Name is Cycon. One point that you should write when you are writing the characteristics of the members of phylum Porifera, that they are commonly called sponges. Okay, phylum Porifera are commonly called sponges. Now, see in the case of Cycon, try to understand the structure. This is osculum, or you can say this is the mouth of the organism, okay, through which the water enters. The water enters. Through osculum, the water enters. Now here are presence of spicules, very important characteristic of the members of the phylum Porifera. That is, they have spicules or spines. The entire body is covered by spines, and the spines are made up of spongine fibers. It is a kind of a very hard substance that makes the spines, or spicules is the perfect word for the members under phylum Porifera. Now you may ask why there is need of any such spines or spicules. They are meant for protection. They are meant for protection. The entire body is filled with holes. As the name suggests, the entire body is perforated with holes. Very important characteristics of members under phylum Porifera is this choanocytes. See, please try to understand. You can see some hair-like structures that outline the internal part, hair-like these structures. I have made the enlarged view of that. Okay, they are choanocytes. You can see this is the body wall. From here a cell has arisen, and from there a hair-like structure has arisen. This hair-like structure is nothing but flagellated protoplasm. Protoplasm, the living content of the cell, and flagella, you know, in case of euglena have already studied. So these hair-like structures outline the internal part. You can see it is entirely covering the internal part of that sponge or cycon, and this hairs helps in the movement of the water by beating. Okay, say this is the hair. The water comes in, it will bend like this, then again it will come to its original position, and by the meantime the water will move in the body, or else the water will be stuck at one position. Say this is the osculum through which the water is entering. Now this is the body wall, and here there are presence of the choanocytes. The choanocytes, otherwise called as collar cells, the collar, okay, choanocytes or collar cells, there are flagella. The flagella beats like this, and the water moves inside. As there is a push in the flagella, the water moves more inside, and after the absorption of the useful substances from the water, it comes out through that of the holes. And here we have the exoskeleton, which is the outermost part, this part, exoskeleton, made of calcium carbonate, that is calcareous, and this one is the base. This structure is the base of the cycon, with which it is attached to certain place, because as I have already told you in the characteristics, they are non-motile, they cannot move, so they are stuck at one place. I think I am very clear. Some examples of the phylum Porifera are Spongilla, Cycon and Leucosolenia. But for you, you remember only two, Spongilla and Cycon. So the second phylum that we are going to discuss right now is phylum Coelenterata. Okay. So phylum Coelenterata, otherwise called as phylum Cnidaria. I have written C silent, it is called Cnidaria. The word coelentrates means hollow gut. Hollow gut means the very digestive system. Gut is another term for that of the alimentary canal and the digestive system. It is hollow. Means there is gap. Means there is cavity. Okay. The first time in animal kingdom we encounter the tissue level of grading, because in case of poriferans it was cellular level of organization. Now we have the tissue level of organization. Poriferans were very simple, undifferentiated, so cellular level, but they are having a bit advanced characters, so tissue level. The second point is they lives in water. Almost all the coelentrates are marine or aquatic in nature. They stay in water. The third point that you can see here is there is cavity in the body. There is a designated cavity present in the body. So we can say that the coelentrates have body cavity. Next we have differentiation in body. Means the body is differentiated. As in case of the poriferans, there was undifferentiated structure, but in case of the coelentrates, there is a bit differentiation. You cannot say that that differentiation was very advanced, but it was a bit more as compared to that of the poriferans. The second last point is they are either colonial or solitary. Colonial means what? When they stay in colony, together staying, they are colonial. Example is corals. But when they are solitary, the example is hydra. Hydra stays alone. It do not need any interference of other organism. It stays alone. So hydra is staying alone, so solitary. Corals staying together, so colonial. Another point is there are two types of cells present in case of the coelentrates. Okay, what are the two type of cells? One is inner cells and one is outer cells. The inner cell makes the inner part of the body very different in morphology, that is in texture, from that of the outer cells, whereas the outer cells make up the outer part of the body. The most striking characteristic under the phylum Coelentrates is this: polyps and medusa. Please try to understand this. It is not mentioned in your book, but you should know this. Polyps and medusa are the two forms of coelentrate. Coelentrates show different forms in the same organism. Organism is same, but the form is different. Okay, polyps and medusa are the two forms. And I am telling you one trick to remember. This is a very commonly asked question in various competitive exams. Polyps you can say P, medusa you can say M. So the trick is PAM, polyps, medusa, and in between the A is asexual. Okay, that means when polyps asexually reproduce, they forms medusa, and similarly another one is MSP, that is medulla sexually polyp. Is it clear? Medusa sexually polyp is one form and polyp asexually medusa is another form. So the two forms of the members under the phylum Coelentrates are polyps and medusa, where polyps when asexually reproduce forms medusa, and medusa when sexually reproduce they form polyps. So let us recapitulate the various characteristics under the phylum Coelentrates or Cnidarians. The first is they are having tissue level grade of organization. The second point is they have hollow gut. That means they have single opening for taking in the food and same opening for excreting out that food. I repeat again, hollow gut with one opening, that is they have single opening for ingestion, that is taking in the food, and single opening for egestion, egestion for excreting out or giving out the food. So hollow gut. The next point is they are mostly marine and or aquatic, that is, they lives in water. Next point is they show more differentiation as compared to that of poriferans. The next one is they are having proper cavity in their body. The next point is they are either colonial, as in case of corals, that is staying together, or solitary, as in case of hydra, staying alone. There are two types of cell: inner, making the inner cells, inner tissues and inner organs; outer, making the outer cells, outer tissue as well as the outer organ. And the last is they show two type of forms: polyps and medusa. Polyps asexually becomes medusa and medusa sexually becomes polyps. They are also sedentary, that is, they also cannot move. They are attached to certain substratum. What are they attached to? They are attached to certain substratum. Substratum means what? Certain space to which the entire organism is stuck to or adhered to. Okay, so substratum is that place to which the entire animal is attached. Okay, now we shall take one representative member of this phylum Coelentrates and see some of the characteristics. One of the representative member of the phylum Coelentrates is sea anemone. As you can see the structure, there is no leg, there is no hand, as such there is no appendages. These are called appendages, so it is not there. So they are sedentary, attached to a substratum, any rock or any ground like structure. This is the body of the organism, this portion, the darkened portion. The body. There is the body wall. This dark portion is the body wall. Okay, you can say the shaded portion. This is body wall. This is the body. This is the mouth through which it eats, and these are called tentacles. Okay, tentacles are hair-like structures that grow from the body of the sea anemone and is meant for sensing. That whether I am attached to the correct substratum, whether any danger is there or not. After all, it's a living organism, so it will show some characteristics of living beings. So they are meant for sensing, tentacles. A very famous relationship of sea anemone is studied with crab, C-R-A-B, crab. That is, this sea anemone sits on the back of hermit crab. It's a type of crab. It sits on the back of the hermit crab, and after it sits, the crab goes from one place to the another. So it carries the sea anemone on its back. Who? The crab. And in return, what benefit the crab gets? The sea anemone gives very bad smell, a very foul smell, unpleasant smell, due to which people or any predator who can kill the crab do not come close to the crab. So one hand the sea anemone is getting transportation, on the another hand the sea anemone is giving some bad smell, due to which the crab is getting protection. Okay, so these are all the characteristics of the phylum Coelentrates. So here we complete Coelentrata.